Hello there everybody, it is me Alexa, and today we are having our very first monthly video. I have yet to come up with a catchy title for it. Hopefully I will by next one. But pretty much what these are just little quick talk shows with me. I'm going to talk about things going on this past month, August, as well as maybe some upcoming things that I'm excited about or have some comments on. And also I'll have always one big main topic that I'm going to talk about. And this one is going to be kind of the movie Tenet, as well as just theaters in general right now, and then at the very end we'll be having a bit of Q&A. In the future, this video we hope to make it live, but for this first one and possibly the next couple ones, we're going to be doing it pre-recorded as we get used to the new format. So all of our questions are pre-submitted by 3 and 5 Patreons, which firstly, special thanks to our very first Patreon, Guna. He was around the very first day, and just a huge thank you to him. Literally whenever we started the Patreon, we were like, okay, we're probably not gonna have any people for like a few months, that's fine. Then literally we woke up the next morning, we already had one. It was really amazing, and just thanks so much. And also a big shout out to our 5 meters deep Patreons, which right now is just Taran Kanaganti. So big thank you to him. He's the one who asked the questions that I'll be answering at the end of the video. All right, so to start off, I want to talk a little bit about August. So we had a pretty exciting month in August across all of our platforms. Start off with our website. We had our highest number of views that we've ever had in a month on the website, which is really exciting. We hit about 45,000, and it is awesome to see the website continue to grow as we make more and more articles on there. Also, our gaming channel, GW Gameplay, hit 100 subscribers, which is super amazing and awesome. And I'm really loving making videos on there as well, so I'm so excited to see that continuing to grow. And of course, here on GW International, we hit the milestone of 30,000 subscribers, and now we're way past that at 33,500 subscribers, which is just absolutely incredible. So just thank you all so much for your incredible support that you have for us. It's just been amazing. Alright, so I watch a lot of movies, as some of you may or may not know. This past August, I watched a grand total of 30 movies, so almost one per day, but not quite. Let's see if we can beat that in September. Probably not. That's a lot of movies. I've definitely kicked up my movie watching game since quarantine has started. I'm not going to talk about every movie I watched, obviously, but I did want to talk about a couple of favorites that I watched. So I watched a few shark movies this month. No particular reason, but I did watch Jaws for the very first time, which is of course the very first ever summer blockbuster movie by Steven Spielberg. It's such a great fun film. It's so well made. I definitely recommend it. It's a classic, and just if you want to have a fun time watching a semi-intense movie that's also really enjoyable, I would definitely recommend Jaws. If you want a more just fun time, I would recommend the Deep Blue Sea movies. Specifically, the first and third one are great. I'd seen the first one quite a while ago, and it's one of my favorite, like, fun films, like, just silly, like, it's bad but fun films. And then I found out that Deep Blue Sea 3 is coming out, which it just did. And so I watched the second and third one. I didn't know there was a second one until I heard the third one was being announced. The second one wasn't great, but the third one was a lot of fun. Then I also watched this movie called Troop Zero, which is available on Amazon Prime, and it was just amazingly heartfelt, sweet. It's about these young girls and one boy who are like kind of the misfits. They make themselves a little birdie scout, which is like Girl Scouts kind of troop, and they're Troop Zero, hence the name. And they're trying to win this competition so that they can send a message into space. And it's just really sweet, fun movie. It made me cry a lot, but it also made me smile and laugh a few times, so definitely recommend it. I also, of course, watched a lot of Indian films. Two of my favorites that I probably watched were, of course, Super Deluxe. I did a review on that, and I really loved how that movie was made. I also watched the movie Gamyam, which is, of course, the director Krish's very first film. He did Vadam, which I'm a huge fan of, and I really loved Gamyam as well. It's just such a nice movie, and they got you emotional though there. I'm not gonna say what, in case anyone hasn't seen it. It's pretty old, so go watch it if you haven't seen it. Why haven't you watched it yet? But it was really awesome, and I enjoyed it a lot. yeah, I'm looking forward to watching a whole bunch of new movies in this September. We got some actually new movies coming out in September, quite a few just in these first couple days. So of course, See You Soon, the Malayalam film, is coming out on Prime exclusively September 1st, and I am pretty excited for that. I watched the trailer and I thought that it was really well done, very creative use of their quarantine time, so I'm definitely interested to see how that'll be. I'm definitely gonna be watching it, giving a review this week, as well as this Saturday V comes out with Nani, of course, and I'm definitely going to be watching that and reviewing it as well, so I'm very excited for those two. There's a lot of movies coming out, but I'm just talking about some of my favorites. So some other ones coming out, Mulan is going to be coming out on Disney Plus, but you also have to pay for it, which I'm kind of annoyed about because I have Disney Plus. So I was excited. I'm like, oh cool, I can watch Mulan, and they're like, haha, but you'll also have to pay a lot of money. So we'll see if I end up watching that or just waiting. Another movie that I saw recently, the trailer for, it's a Netflix film called The Devil All the Time. It stars Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson's a busy man these days, but it looks really cool. It's kind of like horror-y looking, but it definitely looks like it's gonna be a cool watch. I'm interested to see how it turns out. I mean, Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson are really great actors, so I'm definitely intrigued to see them in these roles. And it seems like Robert Pattinson's playing a villain in this one, so that'll be cool to see. Also, both of them are British actors, but they're playing, it's set in like the deep south of America, so they both have like these southern accents, but they're really great in the trailer, their accents. I was very impressed, because southern accents aren't too easy to do. I do one that's really good sounding if you're not from the South. So like I lived in a southern state for a few years, and if I did it there, they all thought I sounded like a fake southerner, but whenever I do it in a more northern state, people are like, wow, that's a great southern accent. So The Devil All the Time, that's my southern accent. We'll see if I cut this out or not. This is the best I can do. So yeah, I can't do, there's a whole bunch of varieties of different southern accents. You can go a bit softer with it, you know, or you can be a bit harder with it. There's a whole bunch of them, and I'm not good at any of them. But there's my attempt, so enjoy. Alright, so now we're on to the main portion. We are going to be talking about Tenet. So of course, as you guys may know from my reactions to 2 of the trailers on the channel, I am a big Christopher Nolan fan. I've been slowly working my way through all of his movies. I have now seen all of them besides The Prestige. That's the only one left on my watch list. My favorite of them is definitely The Dark Knight Rises. I like the third one best. I'm the only human in the world that does, but for some reason I do. I'm not explaining myself, I just do. No, I love all of them though, and I also really love the movie Insomnia by him, but it's so hard to pick. Interstellar is of course amazing. The soundtrack for that I listen to too often. And then Inception as well. And he has so many good movies. I definitely, if you've never seen a Christopher Nolan film, I definitely recommend watching them, and if you have seen some, I'd recommend watching the rest. The only one I can't recommend yet is The Prestige, because I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things, and I can't see it being bad, so we'll see. But Tenet, I've seen overall positive reviews for it so far, but there have been a couple negative ones where they said it was overcomplicated. Like I think one person I saw, they said it was like a overly difficult math exam or something like that was their headline, and I was like, oh, I'm trying not to read too much though, because I don't want any spoilers or anything to be ruined for me. So I've just seen a few headlines and gone off of that. But it seems like it's overall positive, but there are some negative ones definitely. So I'm interested to take a look and see what my thoughts are. However, it is currently in theaters, and the theater situation. So, as everyone knows, America's not handling COVID well. We're not doing a good job with it. I have been quarantining for months now, wearing a mask every time I go outside, which is not often, but not everyone's doing that, and so it's continuing to have issues. Theaters, however, have opened. They're taking a lot of safety precautions from my scene, because I was reading all about it, because I was like, can I go to the theaters? Because that's like, I don't really go out much. I'm not the kind of person who like goes to bars or like, I don't really go out much. But the one thing I do go out to is movie theaters. So that's been like one of those little just luxuries in life that I've probably been missing the most during quarantine. And I guess like seeing friends and stuff. But you know, going to movie theaters. But I really love the movie theater experience, and as a filmmaker, like that's the dream, is like have my film in theaters. I've had some short films that have played in theaters before, but like the dream of having a full film that I worked on being on screen is just like, amazing. So whenever I watch it, I'm always like, and it's just so fun. I love the environment of being in a theater, and it's just great. And I'm really sad that I'm not able to go, because I was looking it up, and while they are taking these great safety precautions, a lot of them are at like 30% capacity. Mask is mandatory, but I have some statements about that I want to make in a second. They also have like some social distancing, like if you pick seats, like you have to sit a certain amount away from people. They also have like cleaning crews coming every night. Some theaters have like changed out their air conditioning even, and they said they have like sanitary wipes that you can take with you, which would be great, because I was planning on bringing my own even if I did go, to like wipe down the seats. But the more I thought about it, the worse it was. Like I read one article written by some scientists, and they were talking about how it's like the worst thing, because you're sitting in this room for 2 hours and there's not good enough air circulation. So it's just like COVID just like sitting in, if someone in the theater happened to have it, it would just be festering in the room. And also the big thing that I'm thinking, because like if every single person wore a mask, the odds of getting it would be really low. But I'm pretty sure concessions are still open, and so people are going to be buying popcorn and stuff, and they're going to be eating popcorn, and you can't eat popcorn with a mask on. You're going to have to be tucking it down or something. And you also, I just know that there's going to be people who take them off because they don't want to wear it for 2 hours. You know, you're going to have people who do that too, and they're like, oh, we're in the theater, they can't see me, so they take it off. And because they're rude. But you know, I just know that that's gonna happen, so I can't bring myself to go to the theaters because it's not safe enough. And if I were to bring it home to my family, like, you know, I wouldn't want that to happen. And so it's not worth it, as much as I love theaters. So I'm not going. I know some people are thinking about going. Just be smart is the best thing I have to say. I mean, that's the thing to do about everything. Just do your best to stay safe and be smart about the choices you make. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. That is up to you to decide. But the one thing that's kind of interesting about this is we're learning a lot about the direct-to-video part of filmmaking. So obviously I may find this more interesting than some of you guys, but the direct-to-video is an intriguing thing because a lot of people have been kind of pushing for it. I mean, like Netflix is huge, as well as Hulu, there's Amazon Prime, like there's Disney Plus, Disney Hotstar, there's so many different streaming services, and some movies will all have been direct releases to there for quite some time now. And I understand there is a perk to it, you know, like being able to watch it at home, especially like family movies. Like I remember Trolls World Tour was one of the first ones that got changed to video on demand near the beginning of quarantine, and parents loved it because then they just had to pay like one flat rate. They could sit their kids down and watch it from home, you know, don't have the hassle of bringing their kids to a theater if they have like a lot of kids too, you know. So I can see that having huge amount of perks, the children aspect of it, like family films. But I personally love movie theaters, and that's a big thing. People have been saying that theaters are going to die for a while now. I don't think they're going to die, because I think that people want to go see movies enough. I am worried now. I think a lot of theaters are closing down, especially the local ones, which is very sad, because I love me a cute little local theater. So I'm very disappointed about that, but we'll have to see. So the pros and cons of video on demand versus going to see a movie in theaters. So video on demand, of course, doesn't matter how many people you have over, you can pay a set price. It's like normally newer movies are like $20, I think right now is like the good range. There's like, you know, one's more and less expensive, of course, but that's like a good average price. So at a movie theater, that's like, depending on the theater, that could be 2 adult tickets, because sometimes they're like $10 each. And so you could have 5 people over, and then you're saving money right there. So I see it from a money saving point, and as well as the fact of having kids, as I was saying before, definitely a lot more convenient. It's right at home. You don't have to travel anywhere. If you have a nice home theater, that's like ideal. I wish I had a home theater, because I would be less upset about it, but maybe one day. And if you have a nice TV, or even you can just watch it on a computer by yourself, you know, whatever you want to watch it on, you have that ability. It gives you it's a lot more freedom in how you do it. But movie theaters, though, on the other hand, it's of course amazing sound quality and video quality, assumably better than you have at home, unless you have a really nice home theater, which I think is a very small percentage of population has that. You definitely will be able to have a better quality and sound at the movie theater, as well as I really love the whole feel of being an audience. Like, whenever I first saw, because an audience can really alter a movie, so it can't actually be a good or bad thing. Like, I remember I saw the movie Us by Jordan Peele, and the first time I watched it, it was incredible. It was like near the opening night, and people were all super into it, reacting properly to all the moments and such. And then I went to see a second time, and it was not as good of a crowd, and they didn't like, it was crazy. Some of the people, I'm not gonna go too much into the difference in reaction, but it was a very different crowd the second time I went to go see Us, and they did not relate to the movie as much as the first crowd I was with, and it kind of took away actually from the film because they laughed at like weird moments, and they didn't get scared by certain things, but then did get scared by other things that didn't make sense to me. But I'm not, you know, everyone has their own reactions to movies. So the theater experience can have its positive negatives, but it also is just such better quality, and it's an experience. Watching a movie from home will never be its own full experience. And meanwhile, going to a theater, you go there, you maybe buy popcorn or an icy. I don't really like popcorn much, but I'll normally buy an icy if I have some extra cash, and that's like my favorite thing. I get a red one. That's the flavor of it, red. Refuse to call it cherry. I personally will, for most movies, if I have the option, I will pick seeing it in theaters over seeing it at home. If it's just like a regular film that's fine and fun, you know, I'm fine with waiting to watch that at home. I definitely make that decision sometimes whenever I see trailers. I'm like, okay, am I gonna see this, pay to see this in theaters? I'm gonna wait and watch it whenever it's available to like rent on my TV for $4. It just depends on the movie, but overall, I will, if I have an option, like if I had free both of them, like I will definitely go see it in theaters. There is not a second guess about it, besides, of course, if there's a pandemic. But yeah, so I think that the theater experience is something that is irreplaceable, because even if you are watching at your home in a really nice home theater, you're normally by yourself or only with a couple other people, and you don't have that full theater experience that you can get going into the cinema with strangers. While, you know, there've been a lot of commentary saying that they think that this is going to be it for theaters and we're going to switch to video on demand more often, I do think that video on demand may become more appealing option for a lot of companies. I think that definitely will happen more and more for different reasons. Like if a studio has a film they don't think it's going to do as well, they'll just video on demand it instead of having it have a limited theater run. I think that that will definitely start happening more and more, but I do think overall, like a lot of these big movies, like I'm not going to watch a Marvel movie at home for the first time. I want the big bombastic, you know, like Endgame, come on. I saw that in theaters twice. Like no way was I watching that at home the first time I watched it. I would have been so disappointed. But so there's movies like that where you just kind of have to see it in theaters. And I feel like, and I like to do that with Nolan films because his films are so visually stunning, and they also always have such amazing sound design that I really want to see Tenet in theaters, but I feel like I'm probably going to miss out on this one because of the timing and because I'm making the choice to not go because I don't feel that it's safe enough. That is my choice, so I can't be too upset about it, but yeah, I stand by my choice, so I'm gonna do that. Unless there's some way I can think of to make it even safer. Maybe I can buy one of those bubbles or something and just like roll in. But no, I will see what happens. I don't plan on going to see it in theaters due to those safety precautions, but I definitely would like to see it in theaters. So maybe they'll give it a limited run later on, like at the year anniversary, because I'm gonna assume in a year we won't be having this much of an issue. One would hope. So what are your guys' thoughts though? Do you prefer watching a movie at home from like straight from the internet, or do you like going into the movie theaters and seeing it there? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Alrighty, now on to the questions portion. So these questions were submitted by our 3 and 5 meters deep patrons, which is right now Tarun, so big thank you to him for this. And we will in the future be having this live, as I said before, but for right now it is pre-recorded, and he has sent me a few questions beforehand, and here's my answers to some of them. So first one that I'm answering is, what is my goal in life? So this is a bit of a heavy question, but it's pretty generic. So I have like my overall goal, and then I also do have some more specified career goals. Overall goal is just to be happy and be surrounded by people that I love and who love me. You know, the cheesy answer. But that is overarching the goal. Is I can deal with pretty much anything else happening in my life as long as I'm happy and surrounded by people I love. I think that that is the most important thing to me. But in a more specific career-wise, I really love doing creative things, so that is my ultimate goals. Again, as long as I'm doing something creative, I'm pretty happy. Like right now I'm making these videos and I'm working on a few other things on my own. We have a few ideas for something creative we might be starting in the works. Me and Siri coming up soon, but I won't say anything. It's too early for me to say anything now, but yeah, might be talking about it more later. We'll see. Yeah, my ultimate goal, I love being assistant directors on sets for films. In case you guys don't know what an assistant director does, they're pretty much in charge of the on-set, like day-to-day, making sure that everything happens. Honestly, the Directors Guild of America says it best. So it's assistant directors are responsible for the assembly of all elements needed for filming and for the daily operations of the shooting set. Their objective is to provide the director with everything they need to put their vision on film. So that's pretty much what it is. So anything that is needed that day, that's what you do. And I really love doing that. It's like problem solving and it's really fun. You get to just think creatively and also just be a part of making these beautiful things come to life. So that's my favorite job to do on a film set, and that is my like dream job. But honestly, I'm very happy also making these videos. I really enjoy doing it, and we're gonna be coming up with a whole bunch of new types of videos and other stuff, and we also write our articles. And so I'm really loving doing this, and if I could make this into my full-time job and career, that would be absolutely incredible and amazing. So that's like the ultimate goal of all this, because I love talking about movies and I love talking about video games and just all that stuff. So if I could have that be my living, talking about movies and games while also still being able to do stuff creatively and like make things on the side, and that would just be incredible. So those are my career goals, pretty much, and those are kind of my life goals. So yeah, hope that answered that question. And then the next one is slightly heavier, but my answer isn't too complex though. I hope you weren't expecting anything more, but they asked what my life philosophy was. So I don't have anything too complex for my life philosophy. Pretty much it just boils down to be kind to people and always do things in regards to being kind to not only others but also myself. I think that is really important. There's a lot of people here be kind and it just means be nice to everyone, but I think that they often forget that it's also themselves. So that's really my goal. Of course, I've not always been perfect at following this my whole life. You know, I'm human, we make mistakes, but that is always what I'm striving for and wanting to be. I feel that is a good overarching simple one that exemplifies how I try to live my life. You could kind of add like be kind and respectful or something, but I feel like be kind kind of covers it all. That's just my goal, is just to be kind and try and spread positivity where I can. So a little bit of what to expect from September. I'm going to continue to do my best with daily uploads on here, as well as 3-day-a-week uploads on our gaming channel. And we're also trying to do at least 3 articles a week on our website. So staying more active on all of those. And I also, on this channel though, I want to start doing more reviews as well. I think I already did more last month than I normally do in a month, but I want to continue to do more and more of those because I really love making them. So yeah, we off with a good start this week because we'll have See You Soon and V coming out, and then I'll do more and more from there. And I have a few ideas for some other videos I want to try and make this month. One in particular I'm pretty excited about. Not sure when it'll be able to get done though, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. Won't give too much away again. This is different than what I talked about before. A lot of secrets. Alright, so this is our very first monthly video. I still don't have any ideas for a creative title for it. If you guys have any ideas for a cool title that we could do for these videos, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Me and Suri have had a couple ideas for it. Like we thought about maybe like Alexa Talks, or maybe something like GW International Just Show, like something simple. So I don't know, maybe just Alexa and Co, because that's like my Instagram handle and stuff. I don't know. We have a few ideas. We're thinking about them, but I wanted to make this first video and we don't have a concrete idea for a title yet. So this is just called Monthly Video. Let us know in the comments if you have any ideas for a cool name for this series. We'll be making them once a month. They'll come out first. Eventually they'll be live, and that'll be for our tier 3 and 5 members on Patreon, and then they'll be available for a full week to all of our patrons, and then they'll become public on our YouTube channel. So if you want early access or to see it live in the future, feel free to head on over to our Patreon and take a look. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching this. I had a lot of fun making this, and I'm excited to do more of these in the future, where we just kind of talk about stuff. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, and I hope that you all are staying safe out there and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!